Have you ever wondered what really separates a restaurant that's always buzzing from one that, well, just doesn't make it? It's not just about great food, it's about having a killer concept. So today, we're going to unpack the blueprint for building a restaurant that truly lasts, pulling some great insights from the concept artisan.
So, it happens. You get that spark, that amazing idea for a restaurant you just know everyone is going to love. And that's an incredible feeling, right? But that flash of inspiration, that's just the very, very beginning of a much bigger journey. And this is where so many great ideas get stuck. See, an idea is just a feeling, like a cool Italian place. A concept, though, that's a real plan. It answers all the important questions. Who are we actually cooking for? What's our special twist? What does it feel like to walk in? Nailing down those answers, that's what turns a daydream into a real business. So how do we actually build this thing? Well, we've got a roadmap. We're going to move through 4 key stages today. First, we'll get the foundation right. Then we'll figure out your restaurant's unique DNA. After that, we'll design the entire guest experience, and finally, we'll talk about how to make that blueprint a reality. Okay, first things first, we have to lay down a solid strategic foundation. Before you even think about picking out menus or chairs, you've got to understand the world your restaurant is about to step into. This is where the real work kicks off. So why is this so important? Because, let's be honest, in a super crowded market, being just another place to eat is a recipe for disaster. A strong concept is your North Star. It's what makes people pick your restaurant out of all the others. And more importantly, it's what keeps them coming back. This is where your gut feeling meets cold, hard facts. It's not about guessing what people want. It's about finding out. You've got to do your homework. What's the neighborhood missing? Who are your competitors? And what are they not doing so well? Maybe everyone's a dinner spot, and there's a huge opening for a great lunch place. Your concept needs to be built on real answers, not just wishful thinking. So once we have that market research done, we can start to build the core identity, the very DNA of your restaurant. This is where we really define its soul. Think of your restaurant's DNA as being made up of these 5 essential pieces. They're like gears in a complex machine. For the whole experience to feel seamless and powerful, every single one of these has to be perfectly aligned and working together in total harmony. Let's be real, your menu is the loudest, clearest expression of what you're all about. The food isn't just a list of things to eat, it is the absolute heart of your concept. It has to feel authentic and true to what you believe in, whether that's ultra-fresh, farm-to-table food, mind-blowing culinary art, or just perfecting an old classic. Your restaurant starts communicating with people long before they even take a bite. The way the light hits the tables, the music that's playing, even the font on the menu, it's all telling a story, and you have to make sure that story is exactly what your target customer wants to be a part of. Service should never, ever be an afterthought. It's a critical design choice. Is your vibe going to be quick and efficient, super warm and friendly like your family, or is it more formal and elegant? The way your team interacts with every guest has to perfectly match the experience you promised with everything else. All right, so the restaurant's DNA is locked in. Now we get to zoom in and design every single moment of that customer journey. We're basically choreographing the entire experience from start to finish. Think about it like a great story. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. What's that very first impression when they walk through the door? How does the meal itself play out? Is paying the bills super easy and not awkward? And what's that final little touch that leaves them with a warm, lasting memory? Trust me, every single step matters. And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The best restaurants aren't just amazing at one thing. They're amazing at making everything. The food, the vibe, the service feel like it all belongs together. It's that beautiful harmony that people remember. Now, let's get real for a second. A brilliant idea on paper means absolutely nothing if it can't actually work in the real world. Can your kitchen team realistically cook that menu when you're slammed on a Saturday night? Is your staffing plan doable? Your amazing vision needs a practical, rock-solid foundation to stand on. So, the blueprint is done. It's detailed, it makes sense, and it's exciting. But hold on, before you start signing leases or hiring your head chef, there is one more absolutely critical phase to go through. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, how can you be confident that you're not just throwing money at a hunch, but that you're investing in a concept that people are actually going to love? The answer is something called concept validation.
Think of it like a test flight for your restaurant. You try it out on a smaller scale, maybe a pop-up, a private tasting dinner, or even just really detailed mock-ups and surveys. Getting that real feedback from actual people is priceless. It lets you find and fix problems before they become huge, expensive mistakes. So once you've validated the concept, then you can move forward. You implement everything, you launch, and, this is key, you commit to always be listening and refining. The world is always changing, and the very best restaurants are the ones that never stop learning and improving. You know, the biggest takeaway here is that you don't have to figure all this out by yourself. Building a restaurant concept from scratch is incredibly complex, and sometimes getting a little expert guidance can be the thing that makes all the difference. At the end of the day, it really all boils down to that one idea: strategic clarity before commitment. If you're ready to turn that spark of an idea into a solid, successful business, you should definitely check out The Concept Artisan. Thanks so much for tuning in.